Alright, you told me what you supposedly see in Yvette. What does she see in you, Keith? What are you saying? Is it that hard to believe that a girl would actually like me? And you also see why I can't go public about my affair with Gianni. It's gonna affect a lot of people. Hello? Yes. I would like you to gather together a program for a discussion with women who have been cheated on by their spouses. Did Quinlan agree to share with the world that she was creeping with Gianni? She wasn't having it. Sorry to hear that, Pacho. I guess we gotta figure out another way to make sure that D.A. Russo doesn't become a threat to you. Don't you worry about that, Viv. I came up with a plan B. What's this crazy news you've gotta tell me, JJ? It's more sick than crazy. Remember how we were thrown off guard when Keith told us he was friends with Yvette? How could I forget? Well, Keith just told me that he and Yvette are more than friends. The two of them are dating one another, Ulissa. Something seems to be bothering you, Vanessa. It doesn't have anything to do with the stalker, does it? I didn't get another message from him if that's what you're asking, but I am thinking about him. Try not to let this creep get in your thoughts. We're gonna find this person and they'll be punished for what they put you through. Do you think that we'll find out that the stalker is someone who I allowed into my life? So D.A. Russo was the one who cheated first. Guess I should give Gianni props for going after someone like Quinlan. After all the trouble she's been causing me, you'd think that since she started this whole mess, she would learn to mind her own business. That's a narcissist for you. But how do you plan to expose D.A. Russo's affair with the commissioner without Quinlan's help? I'm gonna have another reporter with a higher status host a discussion about women who have been cheated on by their spouses. And Commissioner Burke's wife agreed to be part of this conversation. She didn't agree because I didn't ask her yet. I can't believe it. Imagine how I felt when Keith told me. I'm being serious, JJ. This is literally unbelievable. Yvette's not the sort of girl to just suddenly get into a committed relationship with a boy like Keith. Not after she's been sleeping around with other guys. Funny thing is that I told Keith that Yvette was only using him, but I couldn't give him an answer as to what she would be using him for, so he got upset with me. Yvette is using Keith to get close to you, JJ. What makes you think that the stalker is a friend of yours? Do you know how Max's older brother is a PI? I do. Well, Max spoke with his brother Ben, and Ben thinks that the stalker is someone who Max and I know personally. Since Max's life was threatened, Ben is looking into it. Are you upset about that, Mom? Not really. I think we could use as much help as we can get. Max not only looks up to his brother, but he's got a lot of faith in him. Since Ben has more experience with this stuff more than Max, I just hope that he can come up with better theories than Max came up with. What sort of theory did Max share with you, Vanessa? What do you want? Is it money? Do you want my car? You can have it. Wait a minute. You don't want to rob me at all. You want to hurt me. You're the one who's stalking Vanessa, aren't you? Are you sure that Commissioner Burke's ex-wife will agree to tell the whole world how her husband betrayed her? I sure didn't think that Quinlan would pass on the opportunity to make D.A. Russo look crazy and bitter. And I doubt that Dr. Murphy would pass on the opportunity to let the whole world know that she's not the one responsible for her marriage failing. This will clearly make D.A. Russo upset. But wouldn't she be more upset with you than with Quinlan? She tried to keep this hush-hush. Besides, Heidi's gonna have to figure out that something sparked Dr. Murphy's interest in talking about how Commissioner Burke cheated on her. Not only that, but you get to benefit with the Russo Family being distracted with a scandal while you go after the family. Yvette should know that I wouldn't want her back in my life since she lied about what Max did to her. That didn't stop her from trying to make amends with you right before summer began. Keeve is her only way back into your life since Keeve is your friend. I never understood why she was so adamant on being my friend. Don't you see it? See what, Ulissa? Yvette doesn't just want to be your friend. She wants you, JJ. It doesn't matter what Max thinks, Mom. He's not a detective. I just feel so guilty having him involved in all of this. Don't blame yourself, Vanessa. None of this is your fault. But it's my mess, and this nutcase wants to hurt Max because he feels like Max is a threat. Maybe it's best if Max and I stop being friends. Do you want your friendship to end? Of course not, but at least Max would be safe. Losing him as a friend would be hard, especially when I've gotten to know him more lately. Max is just so kind, sweet, and loyal. He really became one of the best people that I've ever known. When I met him, he was a pain to my side, but now I can't imagine a life without him. Don't be a punk. Show your face, coward. Is that what you plan to do? Take my life without showing me who you are? Come on, do your worst. At least I know where I'm gonna spend time in the afterlife. But I bet you can't say the same. But if you do take my life, I just want you to do one thing. Leave Vanessa alone. Alright, Pacho. Do what you gotta do. I trust that you can convince this Dr. Murphy to expose her ex and D.A. Russo. Thanks for being my cheerleader. Anytime. Let's just hope that Dr. Murphy wants to see the Russos crumble as much as I do. What would Yvette even see in me? Are you serious? JJ, you're down to earth. You're funny, sweet, and respectful. Stop it, Ulissa. You're making me blush. I was gonna tell you that any girl would be lucky to have you, but I'm starting to wonder if you'd be the piece that she needs. Now I'm being serious, Ulissa. Do you honestly think any girl would be lucky to have me in their life? You know that a life with me comes with baggage. You're much more than your illness, JJ. Much more. Talk to you later. Don't forget to give your cares and concerns to the Lord. Even with the police and Ben Russo investigating, it's God who's gonna bring the truth to light. And if Max is such a good friend, I suggest you keep this maniac from keeping you from your friend. Thanks, Mom. Hey, Dad. Hey, Vanessa. What did you two talk about? The elephant in the room. But the good news is that Ben Russo decided to put his PI skills to use and help our daughter. I'm not surprised since his younger brother is in danger too. From what Vanessa told me, Ben believes that it's a huge possibility that the stalker is someone who she's friends with. Max. Are you okay? I'm good. What happened? I was just about to go into my car until I saw this guy with a mask and a knife. Like I told you over the phone, he got away. I'm calling the police. Ben, don't. What do you mean? The police need a description of the guy, even if he did hide his face. But if Mom and Dad find out, they'll try to keep me away from Vanessa. Max, this is serious. You could have been seriously hurt, but I'm not hurt. In fact, he walked right past me. Besides, the guy didn't say a single thing. He just stood in silence. Why do you think that is? Clearly, you were targeted, and we both know the stalker is targeting you. As for not saying a word to you, that is weird. Unless he knew that you would recognize his voice. Just like you suspected. This guy is someone who Vanessa knows. Someone who I know. He also left me a note. I didn't read it. Good. Leave it alone for now. That's evidence. I won't tell the cops about this guy with the knife, but they can do some testing on this note. As for now, I'm gonna take a pic. How come? Because the front of the envelope is handwritten. If I can match it with Key's handwriting, then that means your theory was right, and that he could have taken your life today. Wait a minute. You don't want to rob me at all. You want to hurt me. You're the one who's stalking Vanessa, aren't you? Don't you see it? See what, Ulissa? Yvette doesn't just want to be your friend. She wants you, JJ. It ain't like I'm under some sort of mind control. You'd be surprised, Zeke. It's easy for anyone to become addicted to watching X-rated videos. Alright, Pacho, do what you gotta do. I trust that you can convince this Dr. Murphy to expose her ex and D.A. Russo. Thanks for being my cheerleader. Anytime. Let's just hope that Dr. Murphy wants to see the Russos crumble as much as I do. Why are we here, Keeve? We agreed that we wouldn't go on dates unless JJ or Yulissa were around. I called you here to talk about JJ. He knows about us. What do you mean he knows about us? I told him that you and I were dating. You what? You idiot! What are you doing here? I came here to speak with your cousin. Did you find out who's been trying to make me the sole heir to my family's company? Can you just let your cousin and his parents know that I'm here to speak with them? There's no need for all that, Finnegan. We're all here. What was left in that note for Max? Photos. What sort of photos? Photos of Elvira when she brutally lost her life. Thank you so much for asking me to hang out with you, Nichelle. Thanks for agreeing to meet with me. I really want to get to know you more, Quinlan. Sorry I didn't really get the chance to do so when Zeke and I first got together. To be fair, I am a very busy woman, but I would like to know you more, especially since you're the only good thing in Zeke's life right now. Does that mean everything else in Zeke's life is bad? I'm glad you agreed to speak with me, Dr. Murphy. Something tells me that you don't have any medical questions, unless you plan to showcase a program about healthcare. You're getting warm. I'm offering you the opportunity to share with the world how much of a scumbag your ex-husband is. Don't call me that. Well, an idiot is what you are. The plan was for both of us to tell JJ together. Why didn't you go along with the plan? Because I know JJ. He wouldn't have agreed to meet with both of us, Yvette. You don't know that for sure. I do know for sure, because when I told him, he was disgusted by the thought of you and I being together. What sort of monster would send something like that to Maximilian? Who would want to send those disgusting pictures to anyone? The most important question is why. We have reason to believe that it's a threat, almost threatening to do to Max what Devontae did to Elvira. And you couldn't even track down where this note came from? If it was that simple, Ellen, then we would've. Instead, there were no fingerprints on the note. Just make sure to locate this person so that this family doesn't experience a repeat. Yeah, we wouldn't want you to upset your former lover. Alan, how about you shut your trap and let Gianni and I do the talking from now on? My brother is right though, Finnegan. Someone out there is threatening to take my son's life and make him end up just like my sister. Now we can't have him locked up in the house all the time. In fact, I think I might have to hire a bodyguard for the time being. Dad, I don't want some random guy following me all the time. You have no say in the matter, Max. Besides, there's already a random guy following you and Vanessa Dorval around. What's worse is that this random person is a psychopath. Commissioner, can't you see that the stalker is right under your nose? Forgive me. What I should have said was that you're the best thing to ever happen to my brother. And I feel the same way about him. Since that's the case, does this mean Zeke is treating you better since you took him back? I guess. How do you plan to expose Finnegan for what he is? Just like you said, I plan to set up a TV program. Except it won't be about medicine. It will be a discussion about women who have been cheated on by their spouses. Esther Torres, how exactly did you find out that Finnegan was unfaithful? Doesn't matter. From what I know, he didn't pay for what he did. Aren't you the one who had to move out of the house? Don't you still have to share custody with him? That doesn't sound fair since he's the one who destroyed your marriage. Alright, I see what I get out of it if I agree to take part in this discussion. But what about you, Mr. Torres? What do you Get out of it. Which is why we should have told JJ together. He wouldn't see me as someone who's trying to ruin your life. Do you honestly think you would have changed his reaction if you were present? I wouldn't have said it if I didn't believe it. Most of all, I wouldn't have planned it if I didn't think I could convince him that our so-called relationship is real. Instead, you blew everything. Look, Yvette, I'm upset too. We've had this plan since the beginning of summer and Vanessa still hasn't paid much attention to me. Because she never will, Keith, that's why. What are you talking about, Max? You're police commissioner for a reason, right? What my cousin is clearly saying is that you've been working at the department for years, but seem to have trouble tracking down one amateur wacko. I can't stress this enough. The department is doing everything we can to track down this individual. That's all the information I have right now, but you'll all be the first to know when we receive new information. You did the right thing calling the police when you saw the note, Max. Most importantly, you did the right thing not touching the note. Ben was the one who told me what I should do. He deserves the credit, especially since he's doing what he can to track down the stalker. Let's just hope that Benedict can make more progress than the police have. Just like how he figured out that Devante was the one who took Elvira away from us. What do you mean you guess? The thing is that when we got back together, I just expected Zeke to be a bit more affectionate. Wow, I never knew my brother to be affectionate at all. You sure must be one special girl to break his shell. Now he wants to take things slow, which I'm not opposed to since our breakup was intense. But something in my head tells me that he doesn't really find me attractive anymore. Who cares what I get out of it, Dr. Murphy? What matters is that you get true justice. I care because you're asking me to be vulnerable on national television. Alright, if I tell you, then do you think my answer will encourage you to agree with this? Possibly. Fine. Truth is that D.A. Russo has been giving me problems lately. And I know that she was your husband's mistress. I think she needs to be taught a lesson. Don't you agree? D.A. Russo is a powerful woman. What makes you think that she won't come after me over this? Why would you say that? Especially when I told you who my crush was. Even when I agreed to change my entire look. Most of all, I agreed to help you get with JJ. Sorry, Keith. I was upset. I didn't mean what I said. Please. Can you just follow my lead from now on? As long as we work as a team, then we'll get the people we want. Whatever. So what do you plan to do now, leader? I'm gonna speak with JJ myself. Alright, Keith. Let's see if I'm risking trespassing charges for nothing. Well. Looks like we found our stalker. Zeke adores you. In fact, I think he worships the ground you walk on. Thanks, Quinlan. But I just wish I would hear him say those words himself. Guess what? I think the two of us will make such great friends. As your friend, I'll make sure to straighten Zeke out if he gives you any issues. Deal? Deal. I doubt that D.A. Russo would risk her political career by going after the woman whose marriage she ruined. I'm telling you, Dr. Murphy, you deserve to have your voice heard. Most of all, you deserve to have the last laugh. Would you really pass on this opportunity? No, I wouldn't miss out on this opportunity. I'm ready to tell my story, Mr. Torres. Well. Looks like we found our stalker. We've had this plan since the beginning of summer and Vanessa still hasn't paid much attention to me. Because she never will, Keith, that's why. I still love you, and I'll do whatever it takes for you to have me back, because I believe you still love me too. Maybe you shouldn't just avoid Owen. It's clear that he's a trash friend, so you should just keep your distance from him for good. I can't do it. I can't let go of Owen. I expected for Vivian to show up tonight. She wasn't able to make it, Ma. If that's the case, then why are you here instead of being with her? Because this is the first Independence Day event that you're in charge of. I wanted to give you an extra hand. Thank you so much, Pacho, but I'm fine. Besides, I'm sure that you would like to spend time with your new, pretty friend. JJ, of course you're here. How come Keeve isn't by your side? He wasn't able to make it, but he did tell me how you felt when he told you that I'm his girlfriend now. And the only reason why I felt what I felt is because we both know that you don't care about Keeve at all. How exactly did you get proof that Keeve is Vanessa's stalker? I'll spare you the details, but I was able to match Keeve's handwriting with that of the stalker. That's amazing, Ben. Now we can go to the police with this information and put an end to this nightmare once and for all. We can't involve the police, Max. How are the 4th of July fireworks like here? They're absolutely beautiful, Shelley. And since Theodosius' palace hosts New Year's, the Russos always try to end these sort of events in a spectacular way. Can't wait to see this night end with a bang. Hello, Pacho. Hello, Isabel. Isidore. How does it feel knowing that you failed to host this July 4th event since you failed to take this hotel away from my family? I feel like this hotel is in the most capable, perfect hands. Pacho, can you let me speak with Isidore alone, please? You sure, Ma? I'm very sure. Alright, I'll be near if you need anything. You know, Isabel, I think you've thrown the greatest Independence Day festival in Valley Park history. You deserve a certificate. Better yet, a plaque. What do you want? I'd like to take a stroll back in time. You're wrong, JJ. I do care about Keeve. If I didn't, then I wouldn't have become his friend. Most of all, I wouldn't have agreed to go out with him. Then why are you so bent on making me believe you? Because Keeve was really upset when you claimed that my feelings for him weren't real. Do you really want to know how I felt, Yvette? I felt sorry for my friend. You're manipulating Keeve just so that you can get close to me. Who gave you that idea? Why can't the police know about this? Did you do something illegal to get the proof? It's not about saving my own skin, Max. Keeve is the son of the police commissioner, remember? What are you saying? Do you actually think Commissioner Burke would allow his son to get away with committing a serious crime? Yes, I do. Especially after working under him for a time and the fact that he made our mother his mistress. I'll need undeniable proof before I expose Keeve publicly. How do you plan on getting solid proof then? I'm gonna set up a trap for Keeve. I'm so sorry, but I need to step away for a moment. I'll be right back. Owen. Hey Wanda, how are you enjoying the holiday? I would enjoy it a bit more if my friend wasn't confronting my husband behind my back. Well, I had to do something since you weren't communicating with me. Don't you see what your actions are doing, Owen? Don't you understand how much it hurts to know that you don't believe me when I tell you something? You told me that you were busy, Wanda. I couldn't buy that. I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt you, but knowing that you weren't completely honest with me hurt me. Isidore, this is not the time nor place to try and sliver your way back into my life. No matter what game you try to pull, I'll never take you back. I'm not asking you to take me back, Isabel. At least not tonight. All I ask is for a moment to reflect. Summertime can be nostalgic, and being here takes me back. Before I began working at Russo Jewelers, before we had families of our own. Just two young kids who loved each other and loved spending time together. And one of those kids grew up and is in charge of running an entire business to ensure that her children still have a future. Are you seriously telling me that you don't want to take one single moment to relax and think back to a time where you didn't have any responsibilities? I certainly do. Come on, Isabel. The two of us used to have a lot of fun together. We used to watch fireworks, dance to the songs playing. Remember that time I got a super soaker and sprayed you with it? I knew you'd remember. Those summers we shared together are moments I cherish, Isabel. They were magical, and I couldn't bring myself to ever forget them. Is everything okay? Yvette's just trying to convince me that she actually cares about Keith. The only issue is that I'm not convinced. Sounds like you're only wasting your own time, Yvette. I just spotted Max. Let me know if you guys need anything. Why do you have to think the worst of me, Ulissa? That's a rhetorical question, right? It's not. For some reason, JJ thinks that I only got with Keith just so that I could take advantage of my boyfriend's friendship. What sort of poison have you been whispering in JJ's ear? Why should I keep something so important from Vanessa? She deserves to know who's been making her life miserable these past couple of months. Like I said, we can't even get the police involved, which means that if Vanessa knows that Keith is her stalker and she starts acting differently around him, then it would only place her in even more danger. There you are, Ben. Hey Max, it's good to see you. Hey Quinlan, I suggest you think about what we spoke about, especially since you've got a visitor right behind you. Vanessa, it's so good to see you. It's good to see you too, Max. Look, the police told me about what the stalker sent you. How are you holding up? What makes you so sure that I'm lying to you, Owen? As a prosecutor, don't you also need evidence to catch someone in a lie? Exactly. I have all the evidence I need. I highly doubt it. Look, Owen, if our friendship is going to be built on being suspicious of one another, then is that a friendship worth keeping? Usually it's not. But you and I built our friendship on trust. A friendship I wouldn't want to let go of. I know for sure that you don't want to let go of this friendship either. Isidore, no matter how I feel about you now, I'll always appreciate the time you and I spent together. So you're admitting that we did have something special. We did. But don't forget that there's a reason why I'm no longer with you. At least the memories you and I shared will stay forever. Those fireworks sure look nice, but they're certainly not as special as they used to be. Happy 4th of July, Isabel. Poison? No, Yvette. Unlike you, I don't lie to my friends or to those I claim to care about. Get your facts straight, Ulissa. I'm not the liar you think I am. Can you believe her? I feel so sorry for Keith. What I feel sorry about is Keith missing out on those fireworks and Yvette watching the fireworks alone. At least you and I get to watch them together. I'm doing just fine, Vanessa. It just really bothers me that the stalker would send you those disturbing photos of your late aunt. It's sick. It's demented. Don't stress. Soon the sick, demented stalker will be taken down. Let's not let that weirdo ruin the night. When you and I became friends, one thing was clear. Or at least, it was supposed to be clear that I mean whatever I say. I'm sure you do. Lately, I thought you were just being dishonest with me. Then I realized that you were most likely being dishonest with yourself, Wanda. Excuse me? Do I disgust you? Why would I be disgusted with you, Owen? Because when I thought back to Juneteenth, I realized that a moment like this is what might have pushed you away. Do you want me out of your life? If you do, then I'll walk away and you'll never have to see me again. Someone is gonna see us. Don't avoid the question. Would life be better for you if I wasn't in it? Of course not. And I feel the same about you, Wanda. I can't imagine a life without you in it. Just like you don't want me to walk away, I don't want you to walk away from me either. It just really bothers me that the stalker would send you those disturbing photos of your late aunt. It's sick. It's demented. Don't stress. Soon the sick, demented stalker will be taken down. Let's not let that weirdo ruin the night. At least you and I get to watch them together. Just like you don't want me to walk away, I don't want you to walk away from me either. Are you sure that you're okay, Wanda? You seemed pretty shaken up during the 4th and even this morning. I'm fine, Udell. Honestly, if you say so. I'll see you when you get back home. Love you. I love you too. How did your talk with JJ go? He's still suspicious of us, and it doesn't help that Ulissa is encouraging him. I don't know what you did, Quinn, but Nichelle can't stop talking about you. I'm really fond of her too, Zeke. Because of that, it pains me that I'm keeping your secret for you. I really miss spending time with you on the 4th, Viv. Can't blame you. But you were missed too. Just a bit. Sure, just a bit. Why couldn't you just show up at Theodosius' palace? It was a public event. I doubt the Russos would have been too suspicious. I can't take that chance, Pacho. Not when I could risk losing everything that belongs to me. You shouldn't be here, Owen. This is exactly where I should be. The two of us need to discuss what happened on the 4th. What do you mean? Please don't play dumb with me, Wanda. You can't pretend like the two of us didn't. Didn't what? Owen, didn't kiss. No, you must be mistaken. I'm a married woman who loves her husband, and my husband loves me. The two of us made vows, and I have loved that man for most of my life. I would never hurt him like that. Yvette, I'm pretty sure that you would still face problems with JJ if Ulissa wasn't in the picture. He would definitely be less suspicious if Ulissa didn't have him wrapped around her finger. Since that's the case, what are you gonna do about her? Chill, Quinn. I ain't gonna be on those sort of apps forever. You spoke just like an addict. Don't you understand that if you don't handle this issue now, that it would make it harder to stop watching those X-rated videos? Stop trying to paint this nightmare. What I watch ain't hurting Nichelle. You're so wrong, Zeke. It's hurting her much more than you know. I've heard you mention that before. What has the Russos taken from you? Pacho, you ain't ready for those answers yet. Why don't you think I'm ready for these answers? We've known each other for a good while now. Have I not earned your complete trust? It ain't that I don't trust you. So how come you're still keeping this secret? I don't doubt that you love your husband. Then why talk about something that never happened? Pretending won't make it go away. Not when I can't stop thinking about it. I don't see how I can help you with that. Trust me, you can help me more than you think. My only goal is to make Yulissa seem wrong. On top of that, you're still friends with JJ, so you can fill me in on how close he's getting with Yulissa. Doesn't that give you the upper hand? It's not like you can give me the intel on Vanessa. Oh yes, I can. What do you mean? When the fireworks went off, Vanessa and Max Russo seemed pretty cozy. See you later, Yvette. What did Nichelle tell you? For starters, she feels like you lack affection. She ain't said nothing to me because she feels like she's overthinking. Instead, you and I know that's not the case at all. I'm warning you, Pacho. If I tell you the whole truth, there ain't no going back. Do you think that the Russos will harm you? I know they can be ruthless, but I've never known them to be violent. What I'm trying to tell you is that you ain't never gonna look at me the same again. Try me. It's not like you're the one who committed a crime against the Russos. In fact, it seems like the Russos committed a crime against you. I feel like you're capable of taking over any other company, Viv. How come you want to create a hostile takeover for Russo Jewelers? How could I possibly be able to help you? Tell me that I'm not alone. Tell me that you also couldn't stop thinking about what happened on the 4th. Sorry, can't say that I've given it a single thought. All I've thought about was how much I love my family, and I won't do anything to lose the family that I love. Clearly, you're not in the mood to have this conversation, but I'm available when you're ready. I'ma handle it. Don't just say you'll do it, Zeke. I want you to be serious about this. I just thought, since I hurt Nichelle before, I thought she'd want me to take things slow with her. Nichelle wants your honesty. Your dishonesty is what broke her heart. She needs to know that she can trust you. Instead, you're making her feel unattractive and it's not fair. Explaining this won't be easy. Just start from the beginning. Funny thing is, this started before I was born. Okay, what does something from before your birth have to do with your life now? What's going on? The program. It's happening. It's happening right now. My name is Dr. Terry Murphy, formerly Dr. Burke. I was once married to Finnegan Burke, the police commissioner, and he cheated on me with the district attorney, Heidi Russo. Nichelle wants your honesty. Your dishonesty is what broke her heart. She needs to know that she can trust you. Instead, you're making her feel unattractive and it's not fair. What's going on? The program. It's happening. It's happening right now. My name is Dr. Terry Murphy, formerly Dr. Burke. I was once married to Finnegan Burke, the police commissioner, and he cheated on me with the district attorney, Heidi Russo. Why haven't you been answering your phone? I was busy driving over here, Gianni. You know I don't answer my phone while I'm driving. Haven't you heard? Heard about what? Heidi, how come the entire world now knows that you are creeping behind my son's back with Commissioner Burke? I'm on my way. Alan, how come you exposed Finnegan's affair with Heidi out of nowhere? What's this important conversation you need to have with me, Zeke? Quinn told me how I've been making you feel lately. How come you told my sister but ain't tell me? I understand how bad this looks. There's no doubt about it. Now the entire world knows that the district attorney who married into my family is an adulterous homewrecker. How was I supposed to know that Terry would just randomly expose my mistake with Finnegan? We're in the comfort of our own home, Heidi. You and Finnegan had an affair. Terry might have exposed you, but you did the deed. And Gianni cheated on me with Quinlan. Are you honestly blaming me for this? I'm not blaming you. The only person who I'm blaming is Quinlan. Isn't it obvious, Alan? I get that you want to hurt Finnegan for hurting you, but my family is affected by this. Heidi is my uncle's wife, my cousin's mother. Why didn't you at least give me a heads up? Now it's up to my father and I to clean up this mess, Dr. Murphy. You're right. I should have given you a warning. I'm sorry for any hurt I caused you. That's the last thing I wanted to do. I'm not hurt, but Heidi is the one who will be furious with you, and the idea of her coming after you worries me. Terry, I know you're in there. Open the door. Did you come to tell me that I'm just being crazy? You ain't crazy, Nichelle. But you feel like I was overreacting when I told your sister how I don't feel like you and I are as close as we should be. Nah, I don't think you're overreacting. If you don't think that I'm speaking crazy, then are you saying that there's some truth to what I'm feeling? Vanessa, what's going on? Call 911, JJ. For what? The stalker is outside of the house. You're kidding. I'm not. Please, just call the police. Papa is with Mom and Dad, and I'm about to call them right now. Just like you need to get on the phone with the police right now. What do you mean Quinlan is to blame? She wasn't even the reporter speaking on the program. As if that matters. She and Pacho Torres are buddy-buddy. The two of them conspired against me. But what reason would Pacho have to come after you? That doesn't matter. Our family is gaining unwanted attention, Heidi. It does matter. Why would Pacho conspire against you? It's clear that Quinlan still sees me as a threat since she's with Ben. That girl wants to ruin me, Gianni. She's got Pacho around her little finger and convinced him to do her dirty work. Do you have any solid evidence for this? Because Dr. Murphy has the upper hand. She and the commissioner are divorced. Even if you deny having an affair with Finnegan, the public is more prone to believe her. No, I don't have any proof. Since you can't come up with any evidence of a conspiracy, I'm gonna need to save this family's reputation and help you keep your position as district attorney. I need you to go into the other room. I'm not leaving you alone with him. Not when I don't know what he's gonna do to you. I'll be fine, Alan. Please, just leave and don't come out until I get rid of Finnegan. All right. What's the matter with you? Do you want to call attention to yourself? What are your neighbors gonna do? Call the police? I'm the head of the police, at least for now. Besides, you did a magnificent job bringing a lot of attention to me on national television. Was there something that I said which wasn't true? The two of us are divorced because you couldn't keep your vows and slept around with Heidi Russo, a married woman. As if you're completely innocent. I wasn't the only one keeping secrets in our marriage, remember? What if I told the entire world what you did? You want to risk me losing my job. Maybe I should expose you, not only risking your job, but your freedom. I love you just as much as I did when we first started dating. Scratch that, I love you more every day, Nichelle. Then how come I don't feel this love that you feel for me? I'm sorry for making you feel that way. The last thing I want is to make you doubt if you're beautiful. I need you to know that you're beautiful inside and out. But we never slept together after my first time. Was sleeping with me not what you imagined it would be like, Zeke? We're here now, Vanessa. Are you alright? I was so scared. I've never been so scared in my life. Bye, Gayetu. We're all here now and no one is going to hurt you, Vanessa. He just stared at me. I didn't know what he was gonna do. All he did was just stand there. Don't think about that, baby. Just praise God that you're not hurt. We just spoke with the police before we left. Did the police find something that could help stop him for good? Alright, Essador, what do you suggest I do? My brother decided to keep you in the family. Since he didn't divorce you and allow you to catch the heat all alone, you two need to remain as a united front. You want me to stand by Heidi's side while she admits to cheating on me? Exactly. As for you, brother, I need you to confess to your faults and admit to sleeping with your son's girlfriend. Wait a minute, Essador. This plan of yours sounds like it would only make things worse. I agree with your father. Once the whole world knows that both Gianni and Heidi have been unfaithful, then it would only tarnish this family's reputation. The two of them should have thought of that before they dropped their pants for the first person who showed them any special attention. Alright, I'll do it. While Heidi confesses to her infidelity, I'll confess to mine. You and I made a deal, Finnegan. The deal didn't include me staying silent about you breaking your vows. Fine, I'll just let the Russos deal with you. I can't wait to see them tear you apart. How much of that did you hear? What was Finnegan talking about? What did you do that was so bad? My ex-husband likes to exaggerate things. It's nothing you have to worry about. But I do have to worry about my family coming after you. I won't stand by and let that happen, Dr. Murphy. I'll do whatever it takes to protect you. I really appreciate that you want to look out for me, but I'll be fine. Besides, I can't have your family wondering why you would go against them to protect me. I don't care what my family thinks, just as long as you're okay. Nah, Nichelle, that was an amazing night. For a minute, but what we shared was more than I ever dreamed. But we haven't slept together all summer. You're right, my first time ended in disaster, but I know that you wouldn't hurt me like that again. I thought I heard a familiar voice. Are you behaving yourself, Zeke? Always. I'll talk to you later, Nichelle. I love you. What were you two talking about? Zeke and I were only clearing something up, and he just assured me that I don't have to worry about girls like Yvette Mitchell catching his eye. Him and any other guy with a girlfriend, allegedly. What are you talking about, Yulissa? Haven't you heard? Yvette's changed her ways. She's with Keith Burke and is supposedly committed to him. That doesn't sound weird to you, does it, Nichelle? Sorry, Vanessa. The stalker didn't leave any sort of evidence for the police to find. How does someone even know how to avoid being caught like this? I want to know the same thing, especially when this guy can show up again and actually do something to me. This person is not gonna hurt you. In fact, it seems like this boy is getting reckless. Soon enough, he'll do something stupid and get himself in trouble. But why would he just randomly show up? There is no use to trying to figure out what goes on in the mind of a crazy person. Let's just pray that God gives the police wisdom to catch this person and keep him far away from this family. Sorry for scaring you, Vanessa, but it needed to be done. I can't let you have peace. Not when you're getting too friendly with Max Russo. Not when you're obviously falling for the guy. What are you talking about, Yulissa? Haven't you heard? Yvette's changed her ways. She's with Keith Burke and is supposedly committed to him. That doesn't sound weird to you, does it, Nichelle? Heidi, how come the entire world now knows that you are creeping behind my son's back with Commissioner Burke? Yvette, funny running into you here. I'll do you a favor and get out of your way, Nichelle. No, you won't. I actually have something to ask you. Thanks for letting me stop by. Did you call me over here to speak about the scandal my family is facing? I didn't, but how are you holding up, Max? It's definitely embarrassing knowing that the whole world found out that my mom couldn't stay faithful to my dad. But if you didn't call me here to speak about that, then why did you need to speak with me in person? Because I've got an update to share with you. I think you deserve to know that the stalker came here the other day. What can I do for you, Gwendolyn? Don't play dumb with me. I don't think I could even if I tried. Stop it, Pacho. How could you? You promised that you wouldn't tell anyone that D.A. Russo and Commissioner Burke had an affair. I'm surprised that you're out of the house so soon after Dr. Murphy exposed you and Finnegan. Your uncle is currently cleaning up the mess this family is in, but we wouldn't be in this mess if it weren't for Quinlan. What could you possibly have to ask me? I've been told that you're dating Keith Burke. What does that have to do with you, Nichelle? Are you sleeping with him? Again, why is that any of your business? Because I don't see you dating a guy and not hooking up with him, just like you hooked up with Zeke when I first started dating him. What? The stalker came here? Are you okay, Vanessa? I'm still a bit shaken up, but I'm fine. He didn't hurt me, Max. Thank God. What did the stalker look like? He was definitely smaller than I imagined. The issue is that he's creepier than I ever could have dreamed. He wore this dark hoodie and covered his face with a white mask. It was the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. All he did was stare at me. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, Vanessa. This is all my fault. Don't blame yourself for the stalker's actions. You had nothing to do with this. I'm more responsible than you think. I don't understand. A little while back, I saw the stalker. I did keep my word, Quinlan. As for Dr. Murphy, she had every right to share her story. Cut the crap. You know you used what I told you in confidence as a weapon. I'm still trying to figure out what you're so upset about. You weren't on the news program. Most of all, D.A. Russo got exactly what she deserved coming after both of us. And you think that she'll just let this slide? You don't think that she'll figure out another way to keep coming after us, Pacho? I can't believe you. Scratch that. I shouldn't be surprised. Of course you would blame Quinlan just like you blame her for everything that goes wrong in your life. Maybe you should learn to take accountability for your actions, Mom. I have taken responsibility for my actions, Ben, and I've been paying the consequences ever since. Now I might lose my position as district attorney, and you have no one else to blame but yourself. Are you sure about that? Do you honestly believe that the woman you adore so much didn't have a hand in this at all? That's all in the past now. You're right, it is in the past. But it doesn't erase the fact that it happened. Just like you mentioned, I'm with Keith now. Zeke doesn't even cross my mind, Nichelle. And the fact that you're dating Keith just seems so random. All of a sudden you want to settle down with a guy like him? What do you really want from him, Yvette? You saw the stalker? Where? After I stopped by Ben's office. When I walked out, the stalker followed me. Once I turned around, I saw him standing there, holding a knife. A knife? Just like you experienced, he just stood there. Just when I thought he was gonna end my life, he walked right past me. I was relieved that God allowed my life to be spared. Max, this is crazy. Why didn't you call the police? I called Ben right away. That's when we both agreed to let the police know about the picture he left of my Aunt Elvira's crime scene photos. But Ben's got everything under control. Does he? Because the stalker is still out there. He can come back to this house and make me end up like your late aunt. He does have it under control, Vanessa, because he was able to prove that Keith's been stalking you. I'm not worried about D.A. Russo. What's she gonna do to me? Besides, I won't let her do anything to you. After what she pulled, Pacho, I don't find comfort in your words. They mean nothing to me. I'm 100% sure that the Russos are getting ready for damage control. They're gonna paint me as a homewrecker and do whatever it takes to ruin my career. Quinlan wouldn't work behind the scenes when it comes to a story like this. Would you have supported her if she was front and center? Your affair with Finnegan being exposed affects Max. Of course, I wouldn't have approved Quinlan having any part in this publicly. Exactly. Which is why I'm convinced that Quinlan encouraged Pacho to get Terry to expose the affair months after she found out about it. Why else would she just speak about the affair out of the blue? Alright, I can't deny that it was pretty random for Terry to discuss it on national television. It wasn't random, Ben. You know that this was calculated. Keith is a sweet guy who makes me happy. I hope so, because if you're using Keith to act like you're not eyeing Zeke, then you'll be sorry, Yvette. This again, Max? Alright then. What sort of proof does Ben have that Keith is stalking me? Like I said, we can't even get the police involved, which means that if Vanessa knows that Keith is her stalker and she starts acting differently around him, then it would only place her in even more danger. I can't share the details, but you've got to trust me. After you hid something so major from me, look, I praise God that you're not hurt, but I'm sorry, Max. It's kinda hard to trust you at the moment. I think you should leave. I get that you lost some trust in me. Some, but I promise that your job will be safe. Can you say the same about my reputation? I'm sure that the public will be more concerned about your journalistic work rather than what goes on in your private life, Quinlan. Funny you mention my private life. What about Ben? How do you think Ben will react when he finds out that I told you what his mother did, causing the whole world to see her as a skank? Quinlan wouldn't hide something this major from me. Never. She wouldn't even tell you that she was sleeping with your father, Ben. What went on between Quinlan and Dad is over now. I got over it, and so should you. How can I ever get over it when she's still keeping secrets from you? She doesn't get any grace from me when she's clearly bringing more heartache to our family. I'll just let the Russos deal with you. I can't wait to see them tear you apart. Besides, I can't have your family wondering why you would go against them to protect me. I don't care what my family thinks, just as long as you're okay. Because the stalker is still out there. He can come back to this house and make me end up like your late aunt. He does have it under control, Vanessa, because he was able to prove that Keith's been stalking you. How can I ever get over it when she's still keeping secrets from you? She doesn't get any grace from me when she's clearly bringing more heartache to our family. Why are you here, Asador? You know exactly what I'm here for. Terry, you made a huge mistake. Thank you for letting me find refuge in your room while the media surrounds my house. Don't mention it, Finnegan. I'm just sorry that you're being hounded by the media over something that doesn't even matter anymore. Which is why I'm baffled that Terry would do something like this, especially since she knows that I can expose something that would ruin her. What would that be? Hold on to that thought. Alan, of course you've got your little boyfriend cowering in your hotel room. How are you handling the scandal your family is dealing with? This might sound harsh, but I'm a bit relieved that I get to see a scandal from afar since I'm usually the one bringing unwanted attention to the Russos. Even though that's the case, it must not be easy. Ben, I'm really sorry. Why should you apologize? You didn't do anything. I kinda did. You mean to tell me that Max came face to face with the stalker and didn't call the police? Even when the stalker had a knife? He felt like his brother was the best person to inform. But that's not even the worst part. What could be worse than that? Max thinks that he knows exactly who's been stalking me. Is it someone we know? He thinks that Keith is my stalker. What exactly did I do? Don't insult my intelligence, Terry. I'm not insulting you. It's just that I told the world how the district attorney cheated on your brother. For some reason, I thought you might be grateful. Grateful? Maybe if Gianni ended up divorcing Heidi, except he didn't, which still makes her family. And you know that I don't take an attack towards my family lightly. So what are you gonna do, Isidore? Let me ask you this. What makes you think that I won't expose you for your actions? Have you no shame, Finnegan? After being exposed for the cheating scumbag you are, you think it's a good idea to embarrass my mother by being seen with her in public? It's up to me to decide if I feel embarrassed or not. As a matter of fact, I don't feel embarrassed around Finnegan. Besides, Alan, you already knew about my past with Heidi. It wasn't even a whole year since you two ended your affair. What's worse is that the whole world knows about it now. Soon enough, my mom will be the next person bad-mouthing you to the media. What do you mean it's kinda your fault, Quinlan? Ben, I just need you to know that I didn't mean for any of this to happen. Just tell me what you did. There's no easy way to say this, but I told Pacho about your mother's affair with Commissioner Burke. What? Why would you do that? Your mom was making issues for Pacho and I. Pacho was fed up and wanted your mom to back off. What sort of issues was my mom creating? She tried to make it seem like Pacho and I were some sort of item, but I promise you, Ben, I haven't cheated on you. Pacho and I never slept together. If that's the case, then why did you decide to stay silent about what my mom was doing? Why does Max think that Keeve is your stalker? He really didn't go into detail. The claim he made was that Ben found some sort of evidence, but I don't see why Ben can't give this evidence to the police so that this can all be over. Maybe Ben is trying to get more. Keeve is the son of the police commissioner after all. Okay, I understand that Commissioner Burke wouldn't want his son to get in trouble, but do you really think that's the case, Ulissa? Do you think Keeve could be my stalker? If you go public with what I've done, then it will only bring your family more scandal, especially with the fact that you knew about what really happened to your grandfather Dante for all these years. How many times are we going to play this game, Terry? We both know that you're not willing to take the chance of losing your career and your freedom. What do you want from me? You tarnished my sister-in-law's reputation, and I need you to restore it. Restore it how? By endorsing her as district attorney. Alan, I've been nothing but respectful towards you. The least you could do is just show an ounce of respect towards me. Please! You call defiling my mother respectful? I'm a grown woman, Alan. I'm the one who decides who I'll be in a relationship with, not you nor anyone else. Mom, you've been a grown woman all my life. May I remind you that Dr. Murphy was a grown woman when she got involved with Finnegan? Now she realizes that he was the worst mistake of her life. Here's the thing. What Terry failed to say on TV was that I was faithful throughout most of our marriage. As if cheating never crossed your mind. It was easy to get your groove back with Heidi once you couldn't keep your fantasies to yourself. I only stayed silent because I thought I had it handled. Pacho swore me to secrecy when I told him about your mother and the commissioner. It was a slip of the tongue since he wanted me to expose my affair with Gianni and make your mother look crazy. As you now know, you didn't have it under control like you thought. Your silence only made things worse. I realized that, Ben, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Apologizing isn't gonna clean up the mess that has been made. I know. What do you want me to do? There's nothing you can do, Quinlan. This is unbelievable. Don't you understand that you've only proven my mother right? Honestly, Vanessa, I'm not really sure what to think. The stalker could be anyone. And Keeve is a possibility? Come on, Ulissa, he's JJ's friend. Why would he want to put his friend's sister in any danger? Like I told you when we first met, I always had bad vibes when it came to Keeve. I can't convince you to feel comfortable around him. But why would he stalk me when he's with Yvette Mitchell? Yvette is only using Keeve to get closer to your brother. Now, I don't know why Keeve is with her, but I wouldn't put it past him to be friends with JJ only to get close to you. You want me To endorse the same woman who I criticized on national television? Unless you are speaking about another Heidi Russo who happens to be the district attorney your husband cheated on you with. And make myself look like a fool endorsing my ex-husband's mistress? If you ask me, you look like a bigger fool being seen in handcuffs for taking an old man's life. Fine, I'll do it. I knew you would. Terry, I hope you learned something from this. The next time you come after my family, I won't be so merciful. Bottom line, Alan, what went on between Heidi and I doesn't concern you. Mom, you're one of the smartest women I know. You don't consider me to be the smartest? What other intelligent woman have you crossed paths with? My point is that I'm not against you being happy. Quite the opposite. I don't want to see your heart broken. Not like Dr. Murphy. See you later, Mom. That was strange. I wasn't gonna say it since you're the one who gave birth to him. No, Finnegan. What I'm trying to tell you is that Alan's behavior is confusing. Always mentioning your wife all of the time. Almost like he's trying to defend her honor. I wish I had an answer for you, Harley. I wish I could find the answer myself. No, Ben. You've gotta believe me. If I knew what Pacha was gonna do, then I would have never even given him a hint that your mother had anything to hide. It's more than that, Quinlan. Much more. Like I've told you before, I need to know that I can trust you. I need to prove to other people that you're someone that I can trust. You can trust me. Please don't let your mother poison you against me. This right here is exactly what she wants. And all you had to do was let me in. Instead, you didn't. I can't think of Kiev as some monster. I get that you got bad vibes from him, but I don't. He doesn't even seem like he could hurt a fly. Most of all, he doesn't seem like anyone who would threaten anyone with a weapon. Kiev hasn't claimed Jesus as his savior, Vanessa. He's capable of anything. You honestly believe that he's my stalker? Again, I don't know. But because of how severe this situation is, I would keep all of my options open if I were you. You can trust me. Please don't let your mother poison you against me. This right here is exactly what she wants. And all you had to do was let me in. Instead, you didn't. Because if you're using Kiev to act like you're not eyeing Zeke, then you'll be sorry, Yvette. You honestly believe that he's my stalker? Again, I don't know. But because of how severe this situation is, I would keep all of my options open if I were you. Hey, Mom. What's going on? It's your sister. She claims that she's doing well, but I can tell something is bothering her. Maybe she'll be more willing to talk with you than with me. Okay, I'll see if she'll open up. What's going on with you, Nichelle? Why is Mom so worried? I ran into Yvette Mitchell the other day at the mall. What happened at the mall? I didn't lay a finger on her if that's what you're worried about. We only talked about her relationship with Keith Burke. Except I don't believe it's a real relationship at all, which makes me worried. Worried about what? I'm worried that she's pretending to like Keith to cover up the fact that she's hooking up with Zeke again. Why did you call me over here, Yvette? No one is buying it, Keith. Our so-called relationship isn't convincing anyone. Since that's the case, I think it's best to call it quits. Hey Ben, I think I messed up. What are you talking about, Max? I told Vanessa that Keith is her stalker. Seems like you were meant to have a career in mass media. People are still talking about D.A. Russo's affair with the police commissioner. Usually, I would throw a celebration. The issue is that I feel awful for losing Quinlan's respect. What makes you think that Zeke is cheating on you again, Nichelle? For starters, he hasn't been affectionate with me like he was when we first started dating. All of a sudden, I hear that Yvette is with a guy like Keith Burke. If it brings you any comfort, Yvette is only using Keith to get close to JJ. As if a goody-good like JJ Dorval would want anything to do with Yvette Mitchell. Besides, Yvette didn't admit to sleeping with Keith, which means that a whore like her needs to get her fix, and I'm worried that she went after Zeke to get it. Why are you giving up so easily, Yvette? Because I'm tired of making a fool of myself. There's no use to trying to convince people that we're a real couple if we're not even taken seriously. Something happened. Tell me what made you want to do this. I ran into Nichelle Torres the other day. She didn't say it outright, but she thinks that I'm only using you to get to Zeke. We both know that's not true though. I don't care, Keith. I'm done. No, I'm not gonna let you ruin everything for me. Why would you tell her, Max? Did I not explain to you how much danger you would put Vanessa in if she were to find out that Keith was her stalker? I didn't intend to do it. It just slipped. Sounds like tongues are getting slippery these days. What do you mean by that? It doesn't matter. How did you end up accidentally telling Vanessa? She told me that the stalker appeared outside of her house wearing a mask. Praise God, he didn't have a knife this time around. Vanessa was terrified, Ben. Imagine how terrified she feels knowing that the stalker is someone she knows and that he's not behind bars. I didn't tell her how you compared Keith's handwriting with the note he left for me. Since I didn't go into detail, she doesn't even believe that Keith is her stalker. Since you've got this newfound faith, Max, you better pray that she doesn't mention anything to Keith. Don't beat yourself up over this, Pacho. I'm sure that you'll get Quinlan's respect back in no time. You didn't see how angry she was. Bottom line is that you weren't trying to hurt Quinlan. You were trying to hurt D.A. Russo, who was coming after you. I get that, Viv, but now that D.A. Russo's been exposed, there's nothing stopping her from blaming Quinlan for what happened and going after her. I wouldn't be surprised if Yvette is hooking up with other guys, but one of them doesn't have to be Zeke. Wow, Yulissa, I would have thought you would have taken my side after hearing my suspicions. Just think about the facts, Nichelle. There's really no proof that Zeke is cheating on you again. Since there's no proof, then it wouldn't be wise to just assume that he's being unfaithful. I wouldn't want you to look bad if he did nothing wrong. But this is too much of a coincidence. Just as Zeke acts differently, Yvette tries to act like she changed her ways. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Alright, Keith, since you want to be my pretend boyfriend so bad, then what sort of plan do you have up your sleeve? Maybe if we started holding hands and kissing from the beginning, we would have been taken seriously as a couple by now. Don't try to make me throw up. I'm not in the mood. There's no way your lips will touch any part of me, especially if people still don't take us seriously. Are you seriously willing to lose the only chance you have of getting with JJ? This is my only chance, Keith, and it's not working. There has to be something that could convince people that you and I are boyfriend and girlfriend. There is one thing. I'm all ears. Because of my reputation, I'm gonna need people to believe that you and I are sleeping together. Since Vanessa and I have been friends for the last couple of months, I don't see her mentioning any of this to Keith. Alright, now that Vanessa was told more than she needed to know, I'm gonna have to quickly get new, undeniable evidence against Keith. What's your plan? Since I got caught off guard with the scandal our family is dealing with, I couldn't really come up with any plan I see as successful. You might feel stuck now, Ben, but you always come up with a solution. Come on, just use that intelligent brain of yours and think of something, no matter how small it is. Alright, I've got an idea. Let's just hope that you and Vanessa don't get hurt in the process. I'm really impressed to see how much you care about your employees' well-being. It's commendable, Pacho. Since you do care, I know for sure that you'll figure out a way to protect her. But isn't this what you want, Viv? Come again? Don't you want there to be chaos where the Russos are concerned? Isidore is distracted by going after my mom, which would only upset Clarice. The entire family is facing public embarrassment after D.A. Russo has been exposed. You're enjoying this. Look, It's only business. I don't believe you. There's a personal agenda that you have against that family, and I want to know what it is. I thought that you and Zeke came to some understanding and agreed to trust each other. That was before you told me that Yvette was trying to make everyone think that she and Keeve were dating. Since you've got these concerns, I think the best thing for you to do is speak with Zeke about them. You actually want me to sleep with you? No, and you're not going to. But you just said, I said that everyone needs to think that we're sleeping together. My parents will be away at Martha's Vineyard next weekend. I'm gonna throw a party while they're away. And that's when we're gonna make people think we hooked up. Now you're catching on. Sometime during the party, you and I will go to my room, but you won't lay a finger on me. Got it? Got it. Don't leave me in suspense. What's your plan, Ben? Do you still think of Vanessa as more than a friend? What does this have to do with any of this? Do you still have feelings for Vanessa Max? She only wants to be my friend, and I'm gonna respect that. What kept her from being your friend in the first place? Most of all, why did she not give you the time of day? The two of us didn't share the same beliefs. Now you do, which means that there's nothing keeping you from pursuing her, Max. Just get her to like you a bit more. Once Keeve notices that she has feelings for you, we just need to get him in a public place and get into a jealous rage. Creeps like him tend to do that when they're obsessed with someone. Since he showed up at the Dorval estate, it only shows that Keeve is getting reckless. All I need to do is get him to his boiling point, where he can confess to being the stalker. Pacho, I ain't ready to reveal everything yet. I get why you would want to be CEO of any company, but you're more than capable of starting a company of your own. How come you need Russo Jewelers, Viv? Are you sure you ain't gonna judge me once you find out the truth? After making Quinlan mad at me for betraying her trust, I'm the last person to judge anyone. I've been by your side since day one, Viv, and I plan to stand by your side. You gotta let me in. Just let me in. Whoa, what's going on, Pacho? D.A. Russo and Gianni are being interviewed. Yes, I do take full accountability for what I've done. I've apologized to Dr. Murphy and my family. I'd like to take this time to apologize to the public. Our hope is that the public continues to support my wife just like I've continued to support her. None of us are perfect. I should know that the most. Heidi isn't the only one who has done wrong in this marriage. I've also hurt her by breaking my vows. I was unfaithful as well. Quinlan Franklin, I had an affair with her. You can't pretend like the two of us didn't. Didn't what? Owen, didn't kiss. No, you must be mistaken. I'm a married woman who loves her husband, and my husband loves me. The two of us made vows, and I have loved that man for most of my life. I would never hurt him like that. I was unfaithful as well. Quinlan Franklin, I had an affair with her. Since he showed up at the Dorval estate, it only shows that Keeve is getting reckless. All I need to do is get him to his boiling point, where he can confess to being the stalker. The next time you come after my family, I won't be so merciful. Okay, Alan. Just because Keeve is staying with me this week doesn't give you an excuse to hook up with me in my office again. I didn't come here for a quickie, Dr. Murphy. I just heard that you encouraged all of Valley Park to keep Heidi as district attorney. Aren't you pleased that your uncle's wife still gets to keep such a high position? That's not the issue. I'm just confused. Why endorse her when you literally just exposed her for breaking up your marriage? Hey Vanessa, I wanted to catch you before you left for work. How are you holding up? Hey Max, I'm doing good despite the fact that I'm just looking over my shoulder to make sure that I'm not being followed by a masked maniac. I'm really sorry. Not only for what you're still going through, but I'm sorry that I hid the fact that I had an encounter with your stalker. I still don't see why we had to throw Quinlan under the bus. You heard what Isidore said. We need the public to know that you're not just saying you had an affair to help fix my image. The public needed a name as to who your mistress was. Besides, you know that I don't care about that tramp's feelings. Not when she exposed me first. How could you do it, Gianni? How could you trash my name like that? Wow. So Gianni finally decided to tell the world that he and Quinlan Franklin were an item. I can only imagine how Elvira would react to her family's mess right now if she was still alive. She would be so amused by the fact that her brother's affair was exposed for the world to see. I don't really want to talk about the Russos right now, Udell. No problem. I really appreciate that you want to spend this quality time with me, even though we'll have enough quality time at Martha's Vineyard this coming weekend. It still pains me that Yvette can't come with us. Well, she shouldn't have lied about Max. Only if she was honest from the beginning. Then we would have made it a family trip, just like we always do. I spoke about Finnegan's affair to let the whole world know that he ended my marriage. But if you didn't want Heidi to suffer, then you would have left her name out of it. Look, Alan, when I spoke on the news program, all of these feelings came back to me. I let my emotions get the best of me and spoke whatever was on my mind. After getting to know you more this summer, Dr. Murphy, you seemed pretty cool and collective during the news program. Why aren't you being honest with me? It wouldn't be fair to stay mad at you, Max. Not when your life was at jeopardy when my stalker confronted you. It definitely wasn't fair to you when I kept you in the dark. All that matters is that the stalker didn't hurt either of us. His actions just show that he's unpredictable. At least he seems unpredictable to me. What do you mean by that, Vanessa? I can see how sorry you are for not letting me know that the stalker could have hurt you with his knife. Are you also sorry for believing that Keith is the stalker? What are you doing here? I think it's pretty clear. Don't get smart with me, girl. Gianni, why? Why couldn't you at least give me a heads up that you would expose what we had on national TV? You don't deserve an explanation. Not after the mess you made getting Dr. Murphy to tarnish my name. I had nothing to do with that. Why am I not surprised that you accepted the role of the innocent, harmless victim? You know what, Quinlan? I hope that Ben will take this moment to realize how trashy you are and toss you out of his life. I didn't expect to see you two here. I didn't expect to see you here either, Owen. It's really nice to see you both. Are you sure that you're glad to see the both of us? Or are you just more happy to see my wife? The thing is that I haven't seen either of you in a while. Really? Why do you think that is? I am telling the truth, Alan. Then how come I'm finding it hard to believe you, when I never really found it hard to believe you before? I don't know what else to tell you. The truth, Dr. Murphy. Somebody in my family got to you, didn't they? Don't be ridiculous. I know when I'm being ridiculous, and this isn't one of those times. Who was it? Can you just drop it? I want to know who threatened you. Was it my father? Does it really matter? It's not like Ben found anything he could take to the police. Would it make a difference since Keith's the son of the police commissioner? All I know is that there would need to be undeniable proof for Commissioner Burke to allow his son to be arrested. Since we're on the topic now, do you think that Keith is most likely the one who's been stalking you? You've been pretty quiet, Gianni. Do you think that I set your wife up? Come on, you know me. My husband knows you a bit too well, don't you think? Heidi, that's enough. I'm more than capable of speaking for myself. You can't be serious, Gianni. Are you really gonna give her the time of day after what she put this family through? Since Quinlan claims to be innocent, I think we should hear her out. Unfortunately, I'm not completely innocent. Owen, can you please let Udell and I enjoy the rest of our evening? I like that idea. Alright, I'll go. But which one of you paid for the dinner? Excuse me? It's just a simple question. Whose idea was it for you two to go out? What makes you think that's any of your business? Sounds like it was your idea, Wanda. You're the wife. Your husband should be trying to please you all of the time, not the other way around. Your father didn't threaten me, Alan. No one threatened me. Dr. Murphy, I meant it when I told you that I'd protect you if my family tried coming after you. I know how ruthless my father can be. What did he threaten you with? I think you should go now. You're not ready to talk about it? That's all right. But if you need help, just know that I'm more than willing to help out. I was so adamant that Keeve wasn't involved. But then I heard what Ulissa had to say. Ulissa? You told Ulissa? If you're worried that Ulissa will say anything, Max, then I can assure you that she won't. Not when she thinks that it is a possibility that Keeve could be my stalker. Do you think it could be a possibility? Keeve has been my brother's friend since we moved to Valley Park. If it turns out that he's a creep who's been terrorizing you and I, then that's betrayal. And I'll be right by your side, Vanessa, no matter what the outcome is. You'll be in my arms, Vanessa. Soon you'll be in my arms. But first, I need to get laid. You're not completely innocent, huh, Quinlan? I'd love to hear this. I didn't want Terry to expose your affair, Mrs. Russo. But I did tell Pacho about the affair. I didn't think he was gonna do anything with the information. If you're actually telling the truth, then that makes you a stupid reporter. What made you think that Pacho wouldn't use that to his advantage? He's the head of the news station. I get that, and I'm sorry. You're right, it was stupid of me to believe that he would keep that to himself, but it slipped out. The only reason why I said anything is because he wanted me to expose my affair with Gianni and make you look bad, Mrs. Russo. But I refused. I find it funny how you wouldn't refuse to sleep with a married man. If only you kept your hands to yourself, then none of this mess would have transpired. Gianni, you have to believe that I didn't do anything maliciously. No matter what your intentions were, Quinlan, you shouldn't have spoken about my wife. What's done is done, and you need to leave my home. Wanda, you need to get your friend before Owen and I end up embarrassing ourselves. You're lucky I need to take this. Owen, when I get back, I want you gone. What's gotten into you? You. What? I still haven't been able to get you out of my head, Wanda. Not only am I thinking about what happened on the 4th, but I find myself having more thoughts of you. Intimate thoughts. Sounds like you need to take those thoughts to a therapist. As you can see, I am a married woman who shared a child with my husband. A husband who you're spoiling out of guilt. Wrong. A husband who I'm spoiling out of love. What about what you want, Wanda? Don't you want to be spoiled? Don't you want to be loved by a man who won't compare you to a long-lost love? I could provide you with what you deserve. All you need to do is be honest with yourself. Owen, I'm having dinner with my husband. No third wheel involved. All right, I'll leave. Just know this. I'll be the sort of man who will be more than willing to make all your wishes come true. Just like I'm granting your wish right now. And I'll be right by your side, Vanessa, no matter what the outcome is. You'll be in my arms, Vanessa. Soon you'll be in my arms. But first, I need to get laid. Since you've got these concerns, I think the best thing for you to do is speak with Zeke about them. You're not ready to talk about it? That's alright. But if you need help, just know that I'm more than willing to help out. Gianni, you have to believe that I didn't do anything maliciously. No matter what your intentions were, Quinlan, you shouldn't have spoken about my wife. What's done is done, and you need to leave my home. What do you have to tell me about you and Yvette? Did you finally do the smart thing and let her go? Letting go of Yvette wouldn't be smart, JJ, especially now. What's that supposed to mean? Yvette and we're gonna take our relationship to the next level. The next level? You know what I mean. This weekend, there's gonna be a party at her place. That's when Yvette and I are finally gonna sleep together. What's on your mind, Nichelle? Is this about how my sister's all over the news? This has nothing to do with Quinlan. Are you cheating on me, Zeke? Are you and Yvette hooking up again? Isidore, what are you doing in my hotel? Don't worry, Isabel. I'm only here to see Harley. As you know, my family has been mentioned in the media lately and thought I could use some legal advice. Yes, I have noticed. Seems like you're all in a rough spot. Nothing that can't be fixed, especially since I am the family fixer. Does that mean you had something to do with Gianni and Heidi throwing Quinlan Franklin under the bus? Whatever you have to say, Quinlan, I don't want to hear it. I'm not ready to talk with you. The ignored calls made that pretty clear, but we're gonna have to talk eventually. What do we need to talk about? Something that we already know? Except the whole world now knows that I've been dating my father's mistress. You're gonna hook up with Yvette? Keith, you know that I'm a born-again Christian. You should know that I'm not gonna support your decision. I get that you have your beliefs, but I care about Yvette. And Yvette doesn't care about you. Besides, you should wait until you find a girl who you really love. When you find that girl, you marry her. I think we can both agree that marriage isn't something that you're ready for. Look, I'm not gonna miss out on the only opportunity I might have to be this close to a girl. Hold up, where's this even coming from? Just answer the question, Zeke. Nah, I ain't cheating on you. You know hooking up with Yvette is something that I'll regret for as long as I live. You're the girl who I love, Nichelle, but you only expressed your love to me once, while you hooked up with Yvette Mitchell plenty of times. I promise you that I ain't been thinking about Yvette at all. You still ain't telling me where you got this idea from. Haven't you heard that she's dating Keith Burke, allegedly? Quinlan Franklin involved herself in this situation the moment she started sleeping with my brother. Listen to me, Isidore. My daughter Nichelle has become friends with Quinlan. I hope that you didn't make a public spectacle out of someone who my daughter is fond of. You know that I'll do whatever it takes to protect my family, just like you'll do whatever it takes to protect yours. You would also understand that difficult decisions have to be made to protect your family. Difficult decisions like what, Isidore? Dad, what gives you the right to threaten Dr. Murphy? Ben, I understand how embarrassed you must feel. Do you understand? I do. Your parents just exposed me for being your father's whore. That could cause major repercussions for my career. Of course. Nothing can harm your precious career, Quinlan. Your career is the only thing that's affected in all of this. That's not my only concern, and you know it. I'm concerned about you and how you're handling everything. You don't want to know how I'm feeling right now. If I didn't want to know, then I wouldn't be here right now when you don't even desire to face me. Alright, since you want to know so much, maybe I should just express how I'd really like a drink to keep my mind off of all of this. Do you actually think Yvette is the only girl who would want to be with you? No other girl wanted me before. Besides, Yvette is the only girl I want, JJ. You're 15! You don't know how long you'd even be with Yvette. Besides, have you forgotten how many guys she's been with? That's the sort of girl you want to lose your virginity to? I'm not changing my mind, JJ. And since you mentioned her past, guess it sounds like she owes me. What does Yvette being with the police commissioner's son got to do with me? Keeve isn't the sort of guy Yvette has been known to be associated with. Besides, I'm certain that she's not sleeping with him. And you need to be certain that I ain't sleeping with her either. Then how come you made love to me once, but hooked up with her more than that? What is Alan talking about, Isidore? I don't know. Lying to her again, Dad. Isabel, don't fall for his charm. You were already married to one guy who lied to you for years. Spare yourself of going through that again. Alan, I'm advising you not to make yourself look like an idiot. I don't feel like an idiot at all, Dad. Not when I know that it's really strange for Dr. Murphy to just endorse Heidi out of the blue, right after she called out Heidi for destroying her marriage. First off, why are you more concerned about Dr. Murphy than Heidi? Heidi's your aunt, for crying out loud. You barely even know Dr. Murphy. I don't see you denying that you threatened her. What exactly did you threaten her with? Are you still attending AA meetings? Chill out, Quinlan. I'm still going. Funny how you didn't seem to care about my sobriety when you told your power-hungry boss about my mother's sins. Don't you understand that I regret running my stupid mouth? You're not gonna tell me that you regret sleeping with my father in the first place? That should be a given, Ben. I had no idea that I would ever fall for you when Gianni and I got to know each other. Having an affair with him was the biggest mistake of my life. You have to believe that. Instead of discussing beliefs, maybe we should discuss facts. When you began sleeping with my dad, you knew he was married. Sure, you didn't meet me before then, but you knew I existed. You also knew that if you and my dad got caught, then my 16-year-old brother would be affected by the consequences of your actions. Yet, none of that stopped you from getting involved with my father. What do you mean Yvette owes you? I might not like the girl, but she doesn't owe you her body when she's not even your wife. You'll never understand. Not when your eyes are always fixed on that ancient book you believe in. Besides, you can't stop me. You're right, Keeve. I can't stop you from making a huge mistake. And if you sleep with Yvette, that's exactly what you'll be making. Whatever, JJ. Nichelle, I'd love to make love to you as often as I can. Then why don't you? Summer's almost over and you never mentioned it once. I told you that I'm trying to do things right this time around and take things slow. Besides, what matters most is that you know I ain't cheating on you and I ain't gonna do it again. Why is making love such a big deal to you anyway? Because something that was supposed to be special started off great and ended in disaster. Am I so wrong for wanting to have a second chance at taking back something that meant so much to me, Zeke? Nichelle, I didn't mean to. I didn't threaten Dr. Murphy with anything. Not only does my dad lie, Isabel, but he threatens women. Dr. Murphy also happens to be a mother. Is that the sort of man you want to take back? Your son might have a point, Isidore. Heidi is your family and Dr. Murphy spoke against her. In your own words, difficult decisions have to be made to protect family. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? How come you had to threaten Dr. Murphy to get an endorsement out of her? Why do you care, Alan? Maybe it surprises you that Mom gave birth to a human being rather than a monster you can mold into your own image, Dad. Don't you dare forget who you're talking to. If you plan to become the head of this family someday, then you need to learn one important lesson. People who come after our family get hurt. Remember that. I'm sorry, Ben. I'll always regret what I've done. When I got with your dad, it was supposed to be this fun, exciting affair. I had no idea that it would end in disaster. You had no idea? Be real with me, Quinlan. Alright, I'll be real with you. Scandals like these blow over until the next big thing comes along. We'll be able to move past this. Will we? Sure, maybe the public will get over it. For all I know, they'll forget about it altogether. But not me. When my dad threw you under the bus, I had to finally accept that I'll always remember what you shared with him. Do you think our relationship could still survive the choices I made in my past? Quinlan, believe me when I say that I'm not ready to talk with you yet. Don't make me say something that you won't want to hear. Alright, I'll leave. Just know this. I'll be the sort of man who will be more than willing to make all your wishes come true. Just like I'm granting your wish right now. What do you mean Yvette owes you? I might not like the girl, but she doesn't owe you her body when she's not even your wife. Dad, what gives you the right to threaten Dr. Murphy? JJ, it's really great to see you, even though I know you don't feel the same about me. Then how come you're speaking with me right now, Yvette? Because I want to see how you're doing. How I'm doing? I'm sick to my stomach, knowing that Keith is going to make the biggest mistake of his life, hopping into bed with a Jezebel. You have some nerve showing up in my office after the way you behaved at Theodosius's palace the other day. If you're looking for an apology from me, Wanda, then you're not going to get one. Come again? I won't apologize for how I acted when you and Udell were on your little date. Alan, if you're here to discuss Heidi, then you'd only be wasting your time showing up in my office. I'm not here to talk about Heidi, so you can breathe. But I am here to tell you that I'm a man of my word, Dr. Murphy. What's that supposed to mean? I confronted my father about the threats he made against you. What do you want, Essador? I originally came for another reason, but another problem landed on my lap. What sort of problem? And what does it have to do with me? It involves a child we shared together, Harley. You need to get Alan to know his place. What did Keith tell you? I know all about your little house party, Yvette. Guess you learned absolutely nothing the last time you had company over your house when your parents weren't there. I'm not gonna do anything to hurt Keith. Of course you will. Do you know that he thinks you're the only girl he thinks you'll ever be with? You're gonna let him lose his virginity to you when you couldn't care less about him. So it's like that? Okay, Owen. Since you have no intention of apologizing to me or my husband, then you can walk out of my office. Is that what you want, or are you telling yourself that you should want that? Don't you realize how ridiculous you sound? No, I don't realize it, Wanda, and here's why. If you truly wanted me to stay out of your life, you would have notified security and banned me from stepping foot into this building. Don't tempt me. The only person in this room who's tempting is you. You did what? What did Essador say? He acted like I was crazy and that I didn't know what I was talking about. Except we all know that I'm not crazy. Think again, because going after your father like that sounds pretty reckless to me, Alan. From the way you're reacting right now, you're not convincing me that I'm in the wrong. Why didn't you just leave it alone like I asked? You never really asked me to leave it alone. All you told me to do was to get out of your office because you weren't trying to discuss what my dad threatened you with. Let's say that your father did threaten me. Don't you realize that confronting him like that only put me in deeper trouble? What are you going on about, Essador? What's going on between you and Alan this time? He gave me lip. The horror. How dare Alan, a 20-year-old young man, say anything that upsets his fragile father? I was downstairs speaking with Isabel. All of a sudden, Alan charges at me with these allegations that I threatened Terry so that she could endorse Heidi as DA. Are they allegations? You're not listening, Harley. My point is that Alan is taking Terry's side over his family's. Some days, I question if you dropped him as a baby when I wasn't looking, because it's not like him to defend an outsider over the family. First off, I never once dropped him, but you do have a point. This does sound a bit out of character for him. On the other hand, I can't say that I'm surprised that he's siding with Terry. What do you mean you're not surprised? What exactly do you know? At the end of the day, JJ, Keeve shouldn't be telling you things that aren't your business, but I do care about him. We both know that's not true. I can't figure out what made me consider you a friend for a time. Because I told your family what you were going through when you ran away. After you were found, being friends with you were the greatest days of my life. I'm still the same girl you befriended after you started getting treatment. You certainly are, Yvette. You're the same liar who lied about Max forcing himself onto you. You're the same liar who only destroys people's lives and doesn't know how to stop yourself. Have you actually lost your mind, Owen? What do you mean I'm tempting you? You know how you consume my thoughts. Whenever I interact with you, all you tell me to do is to keep my distance, yet you still allow me to be a part of your life in some capacity. I tell you how I feel, and you pretend like my feelings don't matter. I'm in no mood to play your mind games. Don't try to act like I'm leading you on. You're the one who's been overly affectionate. You're the one who kissed me on the 4th. You finally admitted that the kiss happened. Now we're getting somewhere. Yes, I did kiss you on the 4th, but you didn't resist me. I walked away that night. I was in shock. Someone who is my friend kissed me knowing that I'm a married woman. Believe me, Owen, I've been resisting you ever since, which is why I'll be out of town spending quality time with my husband in Martha's Vineyard. How could I have caused you more trouble, Dr. Murphy? I'm not explaining myself any further. Come on, Dr. Murphy. Don't shut me out. I think that's exactly what I need to do. There's no way I'm going to stand around and allow you to make yourself my defender. I'm more than capable of taking care of myself. I know that you are. Then how come you confronted your father trying to protect me? Because I care about you, that's why. I don't really know anything. Okay. What exactly has Alan told you about Terry recently? Whenever Finnegan is in the room, or whenever I mention Finnegan, Alan never fails to mention Terry and how Finnegan was unfaithful to her. But it's not like he mentions the cheating as a fact. To me, it feels like he made himself her knight in shining armor. Not that I'm against our son bad-mouthing your boyfriend, but from what you just told me, this connection he seems to have with Terry seems strange, and I've been trying to figure out why he seems to care so much. What are you doing here? Hanging out with JJ? Is everything alright here? It will be once Yvette leaves. Okay, JJ, whatever you hear about me after the weekend, just know that I'm not some monster. In fact, I think you already do know that. What was that all about? The other day, Keeve told me that he and Yvette are gonna hook up during her house party. Ew. I know that hopping into bed with a guy isn't new to Yvette, but I didn't think she'd stoop that low. Sounds like she's just trying to prove to everyone that she and Keeve are the real deal, even though everyone seems to know that their relationship is a sham. You're going out of town? For how long? That's none of your concern, Owen, especially when our friendship is officially over. Really? Just like that, we're no longer friends? Just like that. Or maybe you're only saying that because you're trying to deny your own feelings. To be honest with you, Wanda, I don't want to be your friend anymore either. I want something more. Guess this is goodbye. Get out of here. Okay, at least I still have my thoughts. Except the real thing doesn't compare. You'd agree since I'll be trapped in your thoughts. What did you just say to me? I care about you, Dr. Murphy. I care about you a lot. Don't say anything else. Clearly your head is going all over the place. This thing between us should have never gotten this deep. Trust me, I didn't expect to feel what I feel, but I do. Don't you feel the same? Alan, you and I are far apart in age. We can't get into anything serious. What's going on between us was never meant to last. Why not? Just think about it. If you and I decide to be public, then you'll be safe from my family's attacks. Absolutely not. Get out of here right now. When you do figure out what's going on with Alan, then I want to be the first one to know. Alan needs to remember what family loyalty is all about, and he's supposed to learn that from you. Is that right? I'm gonna pretend like I didn't hear that. What matters is that we're both on the same side here. At least we both agree that we can't allow Terry to turn Alan against his family. Are you cheating on me, Zeke? Are you and Yvette hooking up again? Sounds like she's just trying to prove to everyone that she and Keeve are the real deal, even though everyone seems to know that their relationship is a sham. I've been by your side since day one, Viv, and I plan to stand by your side. You gotta let me in. Just let me in. What's going on between us was never meant to last. Why not? Just think about it. If you and I decide to be public, then you'll be safe from my family's attacks. Absolutely not. Get out of here right now. Hey, Nichelle, is everything okay? How come you needed to meet me in person? Like I told you over the phone, I need to ask you an important question. What do you need to ask? How come you decided to have an affair with Gianni Russo when you knew that he was a married man? When are the two of us gonna go to your room? Whenever I say so. Besides, we agreed that you wouldn't lay a finger on me. So I don't get why you're in such a hurry. Actually, I'm not gonna have you asking me every 3 seconds. Get out of my face, Keeve. Yvette, we need to talk. Didn't I make it clear that you and I were to never see each other again? Listen, Dr. Murphy, I understand that I overstepped when it came to your issue with my dad, but I'm also not ready to let you go. Have you made amends with Quinlan yet? She's still giving me the silent treatment. What do you think would encourage her to make peace with you, Pacho? The best thing I can think of is providing Quinlan with her own news program. Maybe you should help her dream to come true. I knew you would ask me about this eventually since it's been all over the news. Believe me, Quinlan, I'm not asking you this question to shame you. It's just that I really need to know. Alright, what I want you to know is that I wasn't trying to destroy Johnny's marriage at all. It's just that the two of us enjoyed one another's company. Did he think that you were more attractive than his wife? The issues Gianni had with Heidi began long before I came along. But what's this really all about, Nichelle? It's about Zeke. I've been trying to figure out if he's cheating on me again or not. What are you doing here, Zeke? I don't remember sending you an invite. I heard that you were having a party and knew that it was the perfect time to speak with you. Speak with me about what? Nichelle thinks you and I are hooking up again and I need you to convince her that we ain't. Your girlfriend already spoke with me about you. It's not my fault if she thinks you're still cheating on her, but I think she'll stop being so paranoid this weekend. Why do you say that? Zeke, If you can excuse us, my girlfriend and I need to spend some quality time together. Get off me. I didn't even call you yet. Get your hands off me, Keith. My decision to let you go isn't up to you, Alan. I know that I can't force you to stay with me. I was never with you to begin with. Okay? I did appreciate the time you and I shared together, but it's time for us to move on. How come? It feels like we only started to get to know each other. Dr. Murphy, what are you so afraid of? I can't just give Quinlan her own news program, Viv. Not after the media is labeling her as some sort of homewrecker. Don't you know how many celebrities became famous for their scandalous deeds? Except I run a respectable media company. Since GNP isn't known for showcasing trashy TV, I can't take that risk. Alright, if you won't give Quinlan her own news program, then the least you can do is let her share her side of the story. I gave her that chance, remember? And she turned it down. I doubt that she'd want to discuss it now. Not when she expressed to me how important her relationship with Ben is, if they still have a relationship. But I don't think that bothers you one bit since he's still a shareholder of his family's company. What makes you think that Zeke is cheating on you again? I already told you how different your brother has been acting lately. Yvette is also dating the police commissioner's son, but I don't think she likes him at all. I'm beginning to think that she's only pretending to like him to cover up the fact that she's hooking up with Keith. Did you speak with Zeke about it? I did, and he denied it. But you don't believe him. No, I don't. And I hate that I can't trust him. Nichelle, the problem with Zeke isn't with another girl. You're saying that like you know what the real problem is. Don't you dare touch me. Don't you ever touch me again. I know you don't expect me to stay in this room and do nothing. You've got your phone, don't you, Keith? Just play games or watch videos. Since you dragged me to my room, I'm gonna sleep the alcohol out of my system. I think you should do the same. I'm not drunk. Huh? Then what were you drinking? You know what? It doesn't even matter. You're right, Yvette. It doesn't matter. There was no way I was gonna be drunk the first time I've ever been alone with a girl in her bedroom, and I'm not gonna leave this room empty-handed. What are you talking about? I'm sure you've had countless guys in your room. None of them were your boyfriend. You gave them something, and I deserve exactly what you gave them. Get out. No, Keith, if you get any closer, then I swear I'll scream. Go ahead. The music is pretty loud, so I doubt anyone's gonna hear you. Besides, with your reputation, I doubt anyone is gonna think you're screaming for help. Get off me! Shh! Don't fight it, Yvette. Maybe you should just pretend that I'm JJ, just like I'm pretending that you're Vanessa. I'm not afraid of anything. Like I said before, I know that I was probably doing a bit too much suggesting that we go public, but I was only searching for a solution after my dad threatened you. The only solution to any of this is to end what's going on between us. Is that really what you want? It doesn't matter what I want. We need to call it quits. Neither of us should have fallen for each other the way we did. So you did fall for me. Do you care about me as much as I care about you, Dr. Murphy? Alan, I need you to walk out of that door. Not until I get an answer. An honest answer. Fine. Yes, I've grown to have feelings for you, Alan. But I shouldn't. We shouldn't have slept together in the first place. But we did. Don't you know how tired I am of you speaking to me like I'm the Wicked Witch? I don't think that of you, Viv. Maybe if you tell me the full truth about why you're going after Russo Jewelers, then I wouldn't have to come up with all of these theories. The truth, Pacho, is that Russo Jewelers belongs to me. Belongs to you how? It's my birthright. What do you know about Zeke, Quinlan? That's something you need to ask my brother. I've asked, but he hasn't opened up because he's afraid that you'll leave him. What is he hiding that would make him think that I would end our relationship again? Just assure him that if he's completely honest, then you'll work things out with him. What I can assure you is that he's not involved with another girl. It was good seeing you, Nichelle. Stop it, Keith. Get off. Just close your eyes and pretend I'm JJ and you're Vanessa. Stop. Yo, get off her. I really wish that I could stay over. So do I. But I don't know when Key will get back. Alright, at least we can still get to see each other. Just for a little bit. We'll see. But Viv, you're not even a Russo. You have no claim to that company. And the Russos made sure of that. These vague responses, they only make things more confusing for me. Fine then, Pacho. I'll help you make more sense of it. Let me ask you this. Do you truly believe that I have no claim to Russo Jewelers because I ain't family? You already know that I support your desire to make this hostile takeover, but I don't understand why you would call Russo Jewelers your birthright. It's in the name, but I can't stop you from at least trying to take over the company. Exactly. You can't stop me. But you're wrong about one thing, Pacho. I do have a claim to that company, and I'll gladly tell you why. I've got a claim to that company because I am family. What? How are you related to the Russos? It's quite simple, actually. Remember when I told you that my mama raised me on her own and that my daddy wasn't in the picture? Yeah? What? Is your dad some relative of the Russos? He's definitely a relative. In fact, he's the head of the family. Lorenzo Russo is my daddy. Yeah? What? Is your dad some relative of the Russos? He's definitely a relative. In fact, he's the head of the family. Lorenzo Russo is my daddy. Yo, get off her. Get out. You're gonna regret this. Both of you. If you don't get out, then you'll be the one with regrets. Yvette, you good? Wow, you really got a DNA test done on Lorenzo, your father. I had to keep receipts. Since I've been getting that man coffee for months, it was a perfect chance to confirm what I already knew. It also proves that I ain't crazy. Viv, you're one of the most sane people I know. I never thought you were crazy, but even though all of the proof is right here, it's still crazy. For as long as I've been alive, Lorenzo stayed married to Clarice. It never once crossed my mind that he could have been unfaithful. Well, he was unfaithful, and I'm living proof of it. What's bothering you, Clarice? The state of our family, Lorenzo. The media is still speaking about the scandal that's cursing us. Harley, what are you doing here? You vile tramp. I'm good now that Keith isn't pressing his body onto me. Most of all, I'm glad that he didn't do anything more than just kiss me. That ain't what I asked. Not really. It's obvious that he wanted to do more than kiss you. Yvette, if I ain't show up. Alright, everyone. Party's over. I know you're all not deaf. Get out of my house now. You can leave too. I can help you clean up before I go. My parents are at Martha's Vineyard right now, Zeke. I got more than enough time to clean up before they show up. Do you think I'm just gonna forget what I just saw? I know for sure that you ain't gonna forget. I can forget because Keith didn't get what he wanted. You're just gonna let him get away with it? But still, Lorenzo is old enough to be your grandfather. That's true, but he ended up getting my younger mother pregnant. How old was your mom when she had you? 20. She was actually one of the cooks for the Russos. This only gets worse and worse. How did Lorenzo end up getting the cook pregnant? We both know how, Pacho. You know what I mean. Why did he decide to cheat on his wife with some woman old enough to be his daughter? We're getting through this scandal, Clarice, and we'll continue to get through it. We have worked hard, Lorenzo. We've worked too hard to build up this family to be seen as respectable, to be seen as moral. But Gianni and Heidi had to tarnish this family's name, this family's image, because they couldn't keep their hands to themselves the second they were tempted. I understand your frustration, but we've been through worse. Are you talking about when we lost Elvira? Sadly, yes. But we survived. If the two of us can survive losing our only daughter, then we can certainly endure Gianni and Heidi's mishaps. Why couldn't those two just remain faithful? Harley, I don't know what Finnegan told you that would drive you to put your hands on me in my house. Finnegan didn't tell me anything. It's about what I saw. What she saw? Yes. It was the most egregious, nauseating thing I have ever seen in my life. What are you talking about? Alan, I saw you kiss my son, and whatever is going on with you and him, Terry, it ends today. It's not like I would be letting Keith get away with anything since he didn't do anything. I saw him trying to do something. What were you doing in my room anyways, Zeke? When I saw Keith drag you upstairs, I knew something wasn't right, so I decided to check up on you. Lucky for you, I did. What a guy. My hero. Is that what you want to hear, Zeke? Do you want a prize? A plaque? Reward money? A medallion for being this hero? Do you want me to tell Nichelle how you are my knight in shining armor tonight? Because I have a feeling that if I do, then she'd only give you the side eye when she's already suspicious for no reason. Or maybe she'd actually feel sorry for you if I tell her. Well, you're not gonna tell her. Do you hear me? You're not gonna tell Nichelle or anyone what happened tonight, especially when not a single soul will believe me. From what I understand, Lorenzo and Clarice were going through a difficult time when they lost Elvira, understandably. I can't even begin to imagine what they went through when my father took Elvira away from them. But it doesn't give Lorenzo an excuse to get his young cook pregnant and toss her aside. That's the tricky part. He didn't toss my mama aside. She left, but she ain't have a choice. I'm trying to follow the train of events here, Viv. If Lorenzo didn't toss her aside, then how come she was forced to leave Valley Park? 'Cause my mama felt guilty and confessed to someone in the family about getting pregnant by Lorenzo. That's when she was forced out of town. Hold up, someone else knew that Lorenzo cheated on Clarice? Who else knew? Clarice. Try not to get into Gianni and Heidi's head. Not when they were being foolish. You can say that again. This will all blow over, Clarice. There is such a thing as yesterday's news. You're right. Let's just hope that Heidi and Gianni can remain faithful to one another. Since they didn't go through with the divorce, that can only mean that they realize that they can't live without each other. Which I'm thankful for. These days, too many people give up on their marriage too easily. Spouses don't know how to fight to keep their families together. Silence? Not surprised, since it's something you can't deny. You can't deny that you have prayed after my child. Prayed after him? Stop the dramatics, Harley. Alan is a grown man. He's not legally allowed to drink yet. His stupid brain hasn't fully developed yet. Legal? Yes. Grown? Debatable. Besides, when he was born, you were past his age. How do you stomach looking at yourself in the mirror? I feel amazing, since I know that your son finds me attractive. How can you stand to look at yourself in the mirror, knowing that you got a hold of my filthy hand-me-downs? Is that what this is all about? You go after my son as payback for being with Finnegan? I'm sleeping with your son because I have needs, and he knows exactly how to meet them. Listen, Yvette, I don't like speaking to cops, But if you want to tell them what happened, I'm a witness. As if anyone would believe you. Who would believe a word out of a substance dealer who hooked up with the victim in the past? Besides, even if I did report Keeve, it doesn't erase the fact that he's the police commissioner's son. Since Keeve didn't succeed in what he was about to do, then it's not like he'd get into any trouble. If you want to help so bad, Seek, just keep your mouth shut. Aight, if that's what you want. Take care of yourself, Yvette. Clarice? She knew all along? She knew that Lorenzo cheated on her and got the cook pregnant behind her back? That's right. How long have you known that Lorenzo was your father? Growing up, whenever I asked about my daddy, my mama would just shut the conversation down. Clarice really spooked her. It wasn't till I overheard my mama saying what I just told you. That was before I started college. That's when I knew I had to get what belonged to me. What did Clarice say to her to spook her? How come she didn't go to Lorenzo? I've only got enough energy to tell you how I came into this world. The rest will have to wait for later, Pacho. Years after I was born, my mama gave her life to Jesus. She was clearly ashamed of what she did and wanted to leave her past behind, then started preaching at me ever since. I love my mama very much, but she can be a bit much sometimes. Correct me if I'm wrong. If Clarice drove your mother out of town, does that mean your mother never got the chance to tell Lorenzo that she was pregnant with his child? That's right. My own daddy never knew I existed till I started working for him. He spent 20 years never knowing he had another child out there, another daughter. My mama don't even know that I know. At least he knows I exist. But he still has no idea that he had another daughter after he lost his original baby girl. I can't even begin to imagine what you've been through all of these years. I'm really sorry, Viv. Thanks, Pacho. But I ain't got time to feel sorry for myself. Clarice has got to pay for taking my birthright away from me. Taking over Russo Jewelers is my way of making up for lost time. You got this. Luckily, you and I aren't like most people, Clarice. When I married you, I vowed to never let you go. You'll never know how much I meant that vow. Thank you for giving me the love that I don't deserve. I love you. I love you more, Lorenzo. You are sick. I suggest you watch your mouth, or else the next time I lay a hand on you, your son will be visiting your grave while I wait for Alan to visit me in prison. Harley, what goes on in my bedroom is none of your business. You can't stop me from seeing anyone, and Alan can see whomever he likes. That's right. Alan is free to be with anyone he likes. Anyone who is around his own age. Clearly, he isn't. Since you want me to stop seeing him so badly, then you tell him to stop seeing me. Let's see how he reacts. This is my final warning, Terry. If you don't leave my son alone, then you can scratch Finnegan off of your list as public enemy number 1. Believe me, I'm not an adversary that you want to go toe-to-toe with. Not when my child is involved. Bring it on, Harley. Bring it on. Or maybe she'd actually feel sorry for you if I tell her. Well, you're not gonna tell her. Do you hear me? You're not gonna tell Nichelle or anyone what happened tonight, especially when not a single soul will believe me. If you don't leave my son alone, then you can scratch Finnegan off of your list as public enemy number 1. Believe me, I'm not an adversary that you want to go toe-to-toe with. Not when my child is involved. Clarice has got to pay for taking my birthright away from me. Taking over Russo Jewelers is my way of making up for lost time. You got this. Pacho, I was wondering when I'd hear from you. Sorry, it's just that our last meeting ended unexpectedly. I was trying to wrap my mind around everything. Trust me, I'm as surprised as you are that you and I slept together. Guess you've got your head straight now? I do. Viv, I want to know where we go from here. Is everything all right, Mom? It sounded urgent on the phone. It is. I would have met with you at your grandfather's estate, but I couldn't risk anyone overhearing us. Overhearing us about what? About you sleeping with Terry Murphy. I really like the setup for Vacation Bible School. Makes me wish I grew up coming here. But it's great helping out with the little kids. Better late than never. And I'm glad that you're having fun helping out the kids, Ulissa. Actually, helping out here helps me keep my mind off of everything. I guess volunteering helps Max keep his mind off of everything too. Why do you got that look on your face, Nichelle? Probably because I just heard that you went to Yvette's party and didn't mention anything about it. I don't know how to answer you, Pacho. The two of us ended up in my bed all of a sudden, and we ain't never been on a date. That ain't like me. Hopefully, we can still remain as friends. With benefits? Maybe I'm not getting my point across clearly. I understand that we were supposed to form a simple alliance. But these past few months, I really got to know you, Viv. The more I got to know you, the more I started to like you. That ain't a surprise. I am a likable person. I'm being serious. Do you not share the same feelings that I have? How did you find out? Alan, if you want something to remain behind closed doors, you keep it behind closed doors. Wait, you were there? You saw Dr. Murphy and I together? How come you had me followed, Mom? I didn't have you followed. Honestly, I stopped by the apartment to meet with Terry, except I was met with the most scarring memory of my life. What did you need to speak with Dr. Murphy about? I needed to figure out if she had any idea as to why you've been defending her so much lately. Once I saw you two together, it answered my question. All right, Mom, now you know. Does that mean you're gonna run and tell Finnegan? So Max, have you always been good with little kids, or is this a new trait you got after you got saved? I've always been fond of kids, Vanessa. Growing up, I always wanted a little brother or sister, but my parents made it clear that they weren't planning on having any more kids. But it's clear you're good with kids too. I'm surprised you'd want to study law because you'd make such a great teacher, which is why I'm not opposed to motherhood. Being a lawyer can't stop me from having kids to love on someday. From what I've seen, I think you'd make an amazing mom. I can explain. Okay, Zeke, explain to me what business you had getting anywhere near Yvette after all you put me through. I get that it looks bad. I'm glad you've noticed, but I ain't even stay at the party that long. All I wanted to do was ask Yvette to talk to you and make it clear that I ain't cheating. Clearly, you didn't think I believed you. What makes you think I would believe Yvette either? On top of that, how come I didn't hear from Yvette since you tried to get her to clear your name? I do like you, Pacho. Only as a friend. When the two of us slept together, it was a moment of weakness. I had just told you a secret that I ain't told no one else about. That's all it was to you? A moment of weakness? I don't see what else it could have been. Maybe what we shared together meant that there's something real between us. That can't be it. Not when the two of us can't be together. I don't even know how to begin explaining to Finnegan about what's going on between you and his ex-wife. Good, because what's going on between me and Dr. Murphy is none of his business. None of his business? You are sleeping with the mother of his only child. A child who you're not that much older than. Has that ever crossed your mind, Alan? Mom, you're overreacting. It's not like I'm trying to play stepdad with Keeve or even ask Dr. Murphy's hand in marriage. Okay, that sounds promising. It sounds like this atrocity you've got with Terry is only temporary. Since that's the case, then you'd have no issue ending things with her today. That's really kind of you to say, Max. I mean it, and it's really great to see you smiling after everything you've been going through this summer. I was actually beginning to forget about it. Me and my stupid mouth. Sorry, Vanessa. I shouldn't have even brought it up. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay. Besides, it's not like I can go on forgetting since the stalker is still out there. I'm just thankful that I've got God, my family, and my church family to get me through it. But no one in the church knows about the stalker, except for Ulissa. Even though that's true, my family still makes unspoken prayer requests. I know the church is still praying for me, and I'm sure you're praying for me too, Max, which is something I really appreciate. Yvette ain't reach out, cause she told me she wouldn't. Even if that's true, it doesn't explain why you didn't tell me that you were there to begin with. I had to get messages from other people at the party telling me that they saw you, Zeke. Since she wasn't trying to speak with you, I thought it was best to keep quiet. Besides, I knew how mad you'd get. Yet you still decided to go over there anyways. It don't mean that you can't trust me. At least I ain't deny it. Because you couldn't if you tried, Zeke. There were witnesses. And to think that your sister was trying to defend you. Are you saying that because of what my father did to Elvira? She was your sister after all. That ain't what I'm saying, Pacho. There ain't no way I'm gonna give you a hard time for what your father did. But you know how important it is for me to get Russo Jewelers. So much was stolen from me growing up, and I want to get what belongs to me. If you and I were to be seen together, it would risk the Russos giving me the side eye. Besides, I can't be distracted. I run 2 separate companies, remember? You'd need help from me if you're gonna be successful in this hostile takeover. And if it's being seen together by the Russos that worries you, then you and I can continue seeing each other in private until you take over the company. You just found out that I was conceived in secret. Do you think I'd want to be part of some secret affair? Are you really willing to miss out on an opportunity to someday become a part of the most powerful duo Valley Park has ever seen after you become the new CEO of Russo Jewelers? Come on, Viv. What do you say? I like the sound of that. I thought you would. Mom, I love you very much, but you don't have a say on who I see and how long I see them. All right, I tried the gentle approach, Alan, but clearly that didn't work. Terry Murphy is a cold-hearted witch. She's only using you to get back at Finnegan and to hurt me for being with him. I don't think that's the case at all. Open your eyes! You're clearly not thinking if you're still willing to sleep with this lady. I'm warning you, Alan. What's going on between you and that Viper will only end in heartbreak. That sounds oddly familiar, Mom. Don't you think? Except it's not the sort of advice that you're willing to listen to. Even after this stalker situation is resolved, you have my word that I'll always keep praying for you. Thanks, Max. And I'll keep praying for you too. At least our thoughts don't have to be grim. Vacation Bible School has been going pretty well so far, and we get to look forward to a lot of more fun too. That's right. And Max, I wanted to let you know something I think you should hear. What's that? After seeing you interact with kids, I think you'd make a great dad someday. What did you speak with Quinn about, Nichelle? She told me that the issue isn't with another girl, but with something else. Did she tell you what it was? I was hoping that you'd tell me. I ain't cheating on you, Nichelle. That's all that matters. Then what's the issue, Zeke? Maybe the issue is that you don't trust me. I'm trying to be patient with you, so I'm giving you until the end of the week. You've got a week to tell me what's going on. If you're not honest with me, then we are done. For good this time.